Okay, let's talk Google's algorithm. What the heck is it? How does it work? And why is it so important? Now, I used to work in SEO, in search engine optimization. Years ago, we used to have a design and digital agency. And when I got into podcasting, one of the big gaps that I found was that podcasters don't really need to know much about marketing until they hit that plateau where they've exhausted their friends and family. They've exhausted the kind of core, real deep advocate fans who love their content and they want to attract new listeners. One core piece of that, just like back in the day when we used to run the agency, one core piece of that is a lack of understanding about Google's search algorithm. I'm going to try and help demystify that. But what I need to just caveat this with is that this algorithm is always changing. And it's something that Google has changed for years and years. You might remember, if you're a geek like me, things like the Panda update and the Penguin update, which were really kind of back in the day when Google started putting big old updates out to this algorithm. Let's dig in. What is Google's algorithm and why is it so important to your podcast? Google's algorithm is just a piece of technology, the code, the proprietary secret sauce that Google uses to decide which content to display on the search results pages, ideally page 1, when someone searches for something. And for years, that has been a secret, and it continues to be a secret. However, we can start to decide and just start to glean information from what Google is looking for by analyzing how search results perform. And there's a whole industry around this, the SEO industry, the search engine optimization industry, is based on this entire goal of understanding what Google wants and how to game it, if you like. Back in the day, there used to be a lot of stuff that you could do to game it. You could stuff your keywords into your pages. You could do all sorts of little hacks in terms of backlinks and buying links from link farms. Google gets wise to all of this stuff. Okay, so let's think about it from a different perspective in order to explain how and why Google's algorithm is so important, but what you need to do in order to get along with it. Well, if you think about Google, what does it want to do? It wants to generate ad revenue, of course, and it wants to generate revenue through its products and services. But the front page of the internet, Google search, what it is trying to do there is continue to serve the best, most relevant content to any given person searching for any given query. Now, we've talked about keywords and key phrases before. If I search for something, Google's pure and sole job with its search engine results is to give me the most relevant and timely result. And that is what the algorithm decides. What is the best way to game this algorithm? It's to create the most relevant content. It's to find keywords that are relevant to your content and create content that map to those keywords. And we've talked about this before right here, where we've talked about demystifying keywords and what is a Google keyword and what is a good Google keyword. That's what Google wants to see. It wants to see us creating content that really tightly matches what the users are searching for in our niche. And the algorithm looks at so many signals. It looks at your meta title, your meta description. It looks at the density of the content in terms of key phrases on your website. In terms of podcasts, it analyzes your audio, transcribes them, decides whether your audio matches the key phrases, and shows your podcast episodes if they do. And it also looks at things like social signals and so on and so forth. So Google's algorithm is the bot, it's the Skynet of Google search. It's the thing that powers the decision making, all right, which is kind of scary. We're so beholden to it. I remember working with someone years ago who was continually gaming the system, and I remember saying to him, look, stop gaming the system, start to generate genuine content, build some genuine authoritative links back in to your website. Stop trying to game it, because if Google gets wise to these tactics that you're using, you'll lose all your traffic and your business will be at jeopardy. And sure enough, that did happen. Back in 2010, believe it or not, that person got heavily penalized for doing these kind of crazy black hat, grey hat techniques, and they got wiped out of Google's index. They were removed from Google. You couldn't even Google their domain name and find them. They were removed, okay? And there was a hell of a lot of work that went into getting them back in there. In summary, Google's algorithm is the decision-making code that decides whether or not to show your content to someone who is searching for something similar to what you provide. The best way to game this is to write for people. It's to create content for people and then to use your metadata and your link structure, backlinks in from other websites that are very authoritative and natural to describe your content to Google. And if you do that, you stand a really good chance of matching your content to the keywords and the key phrases that people are searching for. Now, of course, it's much more complex than that, but as basic SEO Google algorithm 101, that's the thing you need to remember. Create your content for people and then go out of your way to describe that content to Google in human terms, and you will start to do much, much better with your SEO. Now, if you need a hand with this, please let me know right here. Just let me know what I can do. It's always a pleasure to be able to chat to people about this sort of thing. I'm very, very passionate about podcast marketing. So let me know what I can do. And good luck. Let's get you ranking on Google even more than you are already. And let's start to generate some more listeners for your podcast.